Yes. Yes. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guess you guys didn't hear me when I just started. So I want to say a pleasant good afternoon to each and every one of you guys. Welcome to another class in session program with yours truly, Royalty James. So I hope and pray that each and every one of you would have had yourself a wonderful afternoon. I know you guys would be hearing me now. I would have fixed the problem a little bit, all right? I know initially you guys weren't hearing any sound. I want you to indicate to me whether or not you're hearing me now. So today, being Tuesday, the 29th day of October, we are ready for another class in session program with yours truly, Royalty James, for another wonderful, wonderful evening. If it is your first time joining the program, I want to say welcome to you. And I pray that you would return and you would be able to have a conversation as we usually do ever so often here on the program. Somebody's saying that they're hearing loud and clear. So once you're hearing me loud and clear, then it means that the conversation can start. Now I want to start by saying to you, ladies and gentlemen, I know I got a little scolding from some persons. I got a scolding from some people. They say, listen to me, why is it that you were not here yesterday? Yes? But let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how many of you guys were aware, but it's rather lower than previous times. Somebody saying it's low. I don't know. You guys are hearing me now? Let me just fix some things. I think in my headphone I'm somewhat hearing better. Yes. So I don't know how many guys were aware, but over the weekend, on Saturday, I did a motorcade, island-wide motorcade with the bingo promotion. And then on Sunday, I assisted with the calling of the bingo, right? For those of you who don't know how that does affect the throat a little bit, it really did it did a little number on me, yeah? So it is not usual that I do it, yeah? So it really kind of affected me, but I'm here now, I'm good. All I need to do was just rest the throat a little bit. And then that was Saturday, that was Sunday, and then Monday morning, which was yesterday morning, I got to get to work, So that was more talking again. So I really needed to clear the throat a little bit. Yeah, and I'm happy that you guys really did understand yesterday. Some of you guys understood. Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, it was a wonderful weekend for the new National Party, whether it be in Tonga country. Yeah, somebody's that say no pictures from the bingo. I am not certain. I'm not certain as it relates. I haven't seen much pictures also from the bingo. Yes, you understand. I mean, I know there is a saying going around in boss. I don't know how bingo does boss, but however, that is what is being said. Yeah. So the events was well attended on over the weekend. As I said, be it in Grenada or overseas, we did have a successful weekend that I can report to many of you guys who might be hearing other things, other places. But we did have a successful weekend. Yes. On Thursday, however, ladies and gentlemen, we're headed to the Boca Secondary School where a meeting will be held. The zonal meeting continues. We would have constituency lead, Brother Nimran Olivier. We would have attorney at law, Brother Dwight Horsford. The MP for the Tongue of St. George, Brother Peter David. And the political leader, Dr. Keith Claudius Mitchell. They all would be there on Thursday at the Boca Secondary School. So you can check it out, all right? Before I start the conversation today, I want I want us as supporters to start focusing on this. Now, our zonal meeting that is presently taking place is geared and focused to show persons, one, to debunk what have been said throughout a lengthy period of time, that the New National Party has done absolutely nothing. Secondly, it is geared to let persons know or be cognizant that things that the present administration would have promised have not been fulfilling on them. They have been failing in many aspects. And ever so often, the only way of defense in most cases is to come up with some form of something else. Yeah? So our main focus as a political organization, that I can say to you right now, the zonal meetings are not to propose the plans for Grenada. This is not a campaign. And I know most persons want to defend when you hear persons say, oh, NNP having zonal meeting, but they're not saying what they have to do for Grenada. Yes, let me say this. This is not the main focus of the zonal meetings. The zonal meetings are to sensitize more or less the public as it relates to what is going on. What we have seen throughout the years from the past administration to what we're seeing now on a political front, on a political basis, to show that the New National Party have served much better in many ways as opposed to what we're seeing now. Yeah? And that is the focus of the zonal meeting. Don't be arguing with nobody out there that, oh, and then people come in and say what they have to do for youth. And this is not the time for that. Our campaign promises or suggestions or ideas are going to come when we are getting into a campaign setting or going ahead with the campaign sessions. All for now is a means of sensitization, keeping you abreast, keeping you in the know. Because let me say to you guys, if we weren't doing this and holding some of these programs, based on how these persons and how information are coming across, as we've been reading as of late, just headlines, yeah, a lot of us would have strayed by now, might have said, you know what, I give up, NNP can't return. And over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, amidst all what has been said, let me tell you two important things coming out from the weekend that the New National Party would have ensured that they debunk things that the National Democratic Congress administration have said. They said that the New National Party has been falling apart. And all the infights and all what is happening and who wants leadership from who don't want leadership. They did not let us know up until we made it known to the general public that past Senator Jonathan Lacko would have resigned from the party. They didn't let us know that. We were the ones that made it public. And now because water more than flour, you're hearing it. It's all because we brought it out. So if we didn't bring it out, they might have never spoken about it. The second thing, and one of the biggest achievements over the weekend for me, I like to do things on a personal basis first, is the fact that Honorable Peter David reassured the general public and the National Democratic Congress narrative that they're trying to push, that he stands steadfast with the New National Party and still do believe that the New National Party as a political organization is still the only party in which he believes that he can continue to give service to. This was my two achievement over the weekend. Yeah? I don't know what was yours. But I came out of the weekend with that. They talk about bingo fail. They talk all kind of things. We don't have nothing to explain to them. Let them run with that. Because these things, ladies and gentlemen, is minimal. They show one or two little pictures only before people go sit down in New York and say NNP use smaller area. Because what I'm baffled about, we are not even in an election year. Not even close to an election year. And all we're having are zonal meetings and we're having little sessions and you want to talk about crowd? You want to talk about audience and who is attending from who is not attending? We are showing our little zonal meetings and we're saying and appreciating the persons that are still coming out to those zonal meetings. And we're showing the love and appreciation to them. And you only talking about how much people that come and it's old people alone you're seeing, and you don't see young people. I mean, it baffles me that you are even having this conversation. Your focus, your job description and specification at this time to the Grenadian people is to govern the state. That is your role and function. That is your role and function. So to only come every time on different platforms and speak about, oh, and then be talking about rescuing and they can hold a bingo and NNP at this and NNP in that crowd. I mean, what is the conversation about this? What is the conversations about this? NNP did a bingo. Even if one person come at the bingo and they win all the prizes, I'm sure they would have been appreciative. Yeah? At the end of the day, we had two events going on at the same time. Both well attended. And I can tell you that. If you see pictures or whatever they showed, if anybody were there, would have known the condition of the field itself. So persons did not want to encroach on the field itself. It was really muddy. Bad. It was really muddy, and I'm not exaggerating that. There were football there the night before, and there was an event there. So persons didn't want to encroach on the field itself. I don't have to explain that in any case. Right? Thanks to everybody who came out of the bingo. Congratulations to all the winners. Yeah? I don't want to spend too much time on that. Sharon, it looked well. The only thing missing in New York's meeting was me. That's the only person that was missing in the New York meeting. But don't worry, I'm going to get another one. I'm going to get another one. Yes, and initially I was supposed to miss the bingo and be at the town hall when it had to be earlier on in the year. And look at it now, I missed the town hall and I got the bingo. So I guess I just had to be at the bingo. Ladies and gentlemen, let's turn our focus on the conversation. And let me start by saying this and what they should really focus on. And let me show you guys what lackadaisical governance is and how much these persons believe or the intention is to stray the Grenadian people. Yeah? Because in playing this, it shows, ladies and gentlemen, how ridiculous this is. And that even persons that hold ministerial position can give you a proper synopsis as to what is going on in the ministry. What am I speaking about? Let me jump to it immediately. I'm pausing that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say to you, ladies and gentlemen, somebody come to you as a homeowner, you're a husband, you're a wife, you're a mother, you're a father, and they said to you, what is the status? I know you said that you were building a new house, you were going into a new business. What's the status? And you are abreast or you are aware as it relates to what is going on in your business. You should be from the top of your head. Well, at this stage, we would have bought the blocks, we have gotten things, in place. We have located some funds for the. This is the Minister of Housing mentioning that the Ministerial is doing well. Yeah, she have a number, she has statistics. But you're saying to me, as a minister of government, you don't have it in your mind that, okay, we built toilets, or toilet was built in New Hampshire. Off my head, I can think about 7 houses that was built in the past 3 months. Nothing like that. You didn't know you had to talk. So, as a minister of government, you're going online in a minister or governmental event. You're sitting at the head table. Yeah. You're sitting at the head table of an event And you don't come with your statistics. Somebody saying that they didn't hear anything. Did you guys hear the clip I just played? Somebody saying that they didn't hear. So let me play. Let me still play. Let me try playing that again for the persons who say. I'm hoping that you guys heard now. Did you guys hear what I... So you guys still didn't hear the last clip that I played? I wonder why you guys are... Because I went all up with the volume. I went all up with my volume. So I don't know... Very, very low. I wonder why. I wonder why is it low? I don't want to go too much up. Let me try playing that again. If you guys are hearing it, you gotta let me know. Tell me if you just heard the last thing that was said. It's very low. I wonder what is... It is too low. Somebody said that it's too low. I don't know. I don't know. I'm guys still saying that they heard nothing. All right, let me just...
Development and progress, yeah. It's a celebration, we love it. The future looking real bright, and we moving on just right. It's a celebration, we love it. There's no segregation. We're the best party and we know it. Happy anniversary, NNP. Happy anniversary, NNP. Going strong and getting stronger, NNP. 40 years we going strong and getting stronger. It's a celebration, we love it. The future looking real bright, and we moving on just right. Happy anniversary, NNP. Happy anniversary, NNP. 40 years of resilience, progress
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I am hoping now. I think I have rectified the issue. I'm not too certain. Let's try again. Yeah. I'm hoping now that you guys would be able to hear. I don't know, something about my volume there that I had to fix. Tell me whether or not you guys would be hearing now.
Because a ministry, we have done well. And I was not sure that I had to speak, but I have all my statistics as to how much houses we repair up to this point, how many toilets to build up to this point, and how many new houses we constructed up to this point. And I have the stats, but I thought I'd come to listen. I didn't know I have to be on the table to speak. So I didn't work with that. You see, look bag I have.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm hoping that you guys heard the clip finally. Right, so it's okay now. Lovely, thank you. Right, so you guys are hearing now. So, ladies and gentlemen, I brought the point earlier on. If your ministry have done so well, yeah, and you are speaking on your ministry, now you're invited, you're at the head table. You're at the head table of an event. You're a minister of government attending an event, and you're at the head table. And even if you were not prepared, yeah, as a minister of government, you telling me that you don't even have at the top of your head, as it relates to the achievement of your ministry, not even a tip of the iceberg, you can say, well, okay, we have constructed 73 houses, we have 14 houses that are being built, yeah. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I play this just to show you. You see what they don't focus on? The job that the people have elected them to do. This is why I played this. To show you that what they have to pay particular attention to as a government, they are not doing it. But they out here posting how much people go in bingo, how much people they in meeting, how much old people that are attending meeting, how much young people that are attending meeting. The fact of the matter is, the job that the people are paying you to do, you guys are not doing it. You guys are not doing it. And at the end of the day, I don't blame you guys. I don't blame you guys because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm moving to my next conversation because I just wanted to bring this up to show, ladies and gentlemen, these people are not doing, as I said, what the state has employed them to do. Their focus at this stage is simply to be re-elected. So they joke at two things day, they joke at two things by day, so and they believe this is what is going to drift persons to them for the next general election. Well, I could say to them, they have something else coming. That I'll say as much. But let me play the... I want to play a clip now of the father of independence. I want to play a clip of the person who wrote the national anthem. I want to play a speech of the person who designed the national anthem. I want to play a speech for the person that win the very first Olympic gold in Grenada. I want to play a speech of the persons who normally go to England and win the flowers event that they normally do. I want to play the clip of Alain Francisque for the first Olympian into a final. I want to play the clip of the first Grenadian, yeah, that has ever been outside of Grenada.
It's my job to be the chief advocate for the beautiful tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And the only way to do that is to leverage me and the office of the Prime Minister to ensure that we can get investors, we can get people interested and talking about Grenada. So with all due respect to the Grenada Tourism Authority and all the advertising, I am the biggest seller of Grenada. So when I go to Nigeria, I'm representing Grenada. Nigerians who never heard of Grenada would have heard of me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I expected nothing else. from this gentleman. This one, to me, placed the nail in the coffin for me. I am done believing that this individual, whom I am quit calling him the Prime Minister. Because to be so self-centered and ignorant and unrealistic and disrespectful, you're supposed to be in some big private school in UWI some way. You're a nerd. That's all put it. This is the most idiotic statement I've ever heard from a nation's leader. Notwithstanding the fact that it's a country that celebrates 50 years. There is no way, Deacon Mitchell, that you are the advocate for the Tri-Island State. There is no way. Because at the end of the day, we send people to represent our country on different fronts. Culturally, sports, education, whatever. In whatever way. So when Kirani James run at the Olympic game, he's the advocate for sports. If you're not intelligent enough to understand your front. The King of England don't speak for the people of England. At the end of the day, your self-centeredness has become more of you than anything else, in understanding that your leadership is what should humble you. When you went to Cuba, you went with a picture of yourself. From there, I said, well, let me give you a next try. Let me give you a next try. You continue to travel on every ministerial position. Education, health, whatever it is. Whatever is happening, you are there. You are belittling the remainder of your cabinet. And when you say sorry to just the Ministry of Tourism, you should say sorry to Grenadians. You should say sorry to Hollis Map, Kirani James. You are not the biggest advocate for Grenada. I don't know who tell you that, when they tell you that. 3 years ago, nobody knew Deacon Mitchell. Nobody knew you. You were selected by a people to represent. And that is all you do. The office has nothing to do with that. The office of Prime Minister remains, and I've said that before in my program. The office of the Prime Minister remains. The individual changes. But the office of the Prime Minister remains. Since when you, Deacon Mitchell, is the biggest advocate in Grenada, your achievement, even as a political leader, is minimal to many others that serve this country. You're disrespectful to the persons who have paved the way and continue to. There are persons that you have selected in your governance as ambassadors. What you think they're doing? What you think they're doing? The persons that you have selected as ambassadors that are in states, living in state. What do you think they're doing on the behalf of Grenadians or Grenada? It is not advocating. You are a shameless big man. Because I realize that your main focus is to exalt yourself. And people are starting to see right through to you. How can it be? How can it be? When did you get that portfolio? Who gave you that? The people of Grenada give you a walk. At the end of the day, I working in KFC and I walk outside of KFC. I don't have to play boss for KFC. No. I walk again. There are people bigger than me. Understand there are persons within the whole entity that plays more of an integral role than I have done or have been doing. 2 years and a little piece. You is the greatest advocate? Why do he? Something ought to be wrong with you, young man. You're self-centered. The power start to get to your head. As me and somebody was speaking over the weekend, he said he don't like to use the word power. And it's a fact. We were speaking about the new National Party, and he did said he liked to use the word office. Because what has been happening as of late is that power has gone to so many of the heads. The level of arrogance, the manner in which you hear them speak now, the people who selected that elected them, they said to talk down to them. And he said to trickle down. Because listen this one.
We are not going to sit back and because of political expediency, refuse to statutarize the hospital. So every opportunity I get, I preach statutarization because it works. There is enough evidence right around us and in the Caribbean that proves that statutarization works.
Well, we have statutory bodies in Grenada as well, whether it's the Lotteries Authority, the Airports Authority, they all have their own revenue models.
Are we afraid of ourselves? Are we afraid of making big decisions? Well, let me say, after 50 years of a bureaucratic system that failed us at the hospital, it is time to make the bold decision. We cannot just be practicing politics and politics and politics and forget about the people. This is about saving lives, and the time has come for us to statutarize the hospital. And our aim and intention is to get a competent board of directors by the 1st of January 2025. And to get a competent set of managers who will work alongside the board and with the existing CMO, Director of Hospital Services, and the other competent staff to transform healthcare in Grenada.
Ladies and gentlemen, arrogance at its best. It cannot be held in any longer. When the question was posed and the conversation came up about the hospital being statutarized or privatized, which is a minimal difference, they said I lie. That the persons were coming to work along with, that wasn't the conversation we had, that they were going to do an assessment, and after that assessment is done, they were going to do a report, and then they would be able to integrate or amalgamate or join the members that are already, or the system that are already working at the general hospital to make it better. But you see, the thing about the truth, you can't hold it in too long. The thing about it, and as I said earlier on in the program, fact-checking. Programs like this, being able to find them out. Being able to find them out, ladies and gentlemen. Being able to pull them out. That what they think, that what they're not saying, that is what we're hearing. So all along, the Mount Sinai members were to come and walk along with members of the General Hospital find issues and try to improve the work at the General Hospital. But now, you hear the tone, you hear the voice, you hear how different everything sounds now. Now that the people has found them out. Now that the people knows the truth. And that's the thing about the National Democratic Congress. When you corner them, they immediately bring arrogance. They vex, more or less. Because when you do call them out, or when you do find them out, and let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, let me make this, and I believe this is the stance of the entire political organization in New National Party. You can't put the cat before the horse. There must be system that must be put in place before doing those things. There is a vast majority of private practitioners within the state that are still employed by government. Now, why most of them are employed by government is because they realize that based on the system that we live in, that it is difficult for the layman man to come up with such finances most of the time to find medical redress. Let me say this to you. It is difficult. Watch me. Granny is going to walk to the medical center at 6 in the morning, 6:30. Sit there and wait for the doctor that arrives at 10 for attendance. Than she going to a private doctor, spend $200 and come back and spend the next $200 on medication. Granny is going to do that. If a police officer or public servant or anybody falls in town, he or she would be immediately rushed to the general hospital before going to a private entity. Why am I speaking about this? As I said, you can't put the cart before the horse. And if this political organization had spoken about, and let me tell you this, health insurance and national health insurance that the past administration instituted, for those of you who don't know, the new National Party had a conversation and instituted a national health insurance to aid in the now conversation that we're hearing, even if this administration decides to make the medical facility a statutory body. Now, if you have medical or health insurance, it basically would aid with everybody. Because yes, it works, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't be on my program here and play dumb as if it don't work in the bigger countries. But they have consultation and they have things to suffice for what they are doing. So initially what should have happened here is the institution of a national health insurance. So Granny is paying health insurance and she wouldn't mind going to the general hospital. Because whatever it is, her health insurance would be able to cover for this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the manner in which you statutarize your health system. Being able to put the people that will be using the facility in a position where they do not have to push too far down in their pockets. So when you have a minister of government being so idiotic about being scared to make a decision, it is not a matter of being scared to make a decision. The fact of the matter is, there are things that must be put in place. Consultation must be done. We are in November. And the minister is speaking of putting a board together on January 1st. The general public, in terms of the education of statutory body, go around, ladies and gentlemen. Ask how many people understand what a statutory body is. Most persons have adapted to the Nawasa and the Grenlek and the so on and the so forth. Because the fact of the matter is, those necessities, they believe. How many persons walk around the place believing I will get sick tomorrow? The majority of persons would walk around and say, listen to me, I know how to get water, I know how to get light. So when persons like these ministers, or those ministers, and I don't call him Prime Minister again, I turn that stupidness. When Deacon Mitchell makes statements like that, redundantly, and persons are listening, and failing to simply humble yourself, I am wondering, as even their supporters, how are you supporting this? Look at me here saying, we're not against places being statutorized. But understand what comes with statutorization is that the monies need to be, the capital there needs to be raised, even if government gives subventions. Right? Most of the times, when you statutorize those places ought to come up with the finances in order to pay persons, deal with the equipments, come up with laws, legitimate ways in order to keep that statutorization going. And you need to cushion that for your people. So a man will move from seeing a doctor for $0 to $180, and you feel he's just going to swallow it? Based on your illness, based on what you have to do. So when you come and you make a vague statement in arrogance, I would call it. Because initially, that is not what you guys were saying. You guys made the Grenadian people to believe that, okay, the conversation initially was that you guys are going to, the persons are going to come, they are going to look at what is going on, they are going to make an assessment, and then they're going to say what it is. But now you come with an entirely different conversation, and then now you come with the conversation, persons are calling you out on the conversation, and now you're arrogant about it, you're vexed. And we cannot be at a system like that. No. Moving further afield. Again, all you know me, I like to fact check. I like to ensure that when I say what I say, I have things to back up what I said. Now, when I say to you that this is an administration that fully intends to make the past administration look bad by all costs, believe you me when I say that. Let me start by playing that clip so I would go into what I want to speak about. And I have an extensive clip. Yeah, it's about 2 minutes and some seconds.
Upon assuming office, my government was not provided with any transition report or any files on Grenada's legal or contractual obligations or Grenada's progress in relation to its oil and gas reserves.
Following the throne speech, opposition leader Dr. Keith Mitchell accused the government of being dishonest.
This government is being characterized by telling lies, which are obviously blatant, and you know many of them we have spoken about. They lie about oil and gas, that they have no documentation. It's a blatant lie. And you know, it's just similar to the Polish ambassador money, the no contract, and the hiring of persons, the hiring of people full-time, and contract was illegal, and just on and on. The government is being characterized by lies and no concern for people.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell responded to the opposition leader's comment about dishonesty with a challenge.
I'll challenge the opposition leader. If he says he knows where the file is, ask him if his colleague ministers know where the files are. Right? If they know where the files are, then either them or him can publicly indicate where the files are, where they've been stored, and how the files can be accessed, and indicate that to the public servants so that they can tell us. So when I say to you, we had written transition reports from every ministry. Oil and gas was not mentioned in a single report. So I think the leader of his opposition has been around on this planet a lot longer than mine. I would put it down to perhaps a feeling memory, but I'm making it clear. We've had written transition reports from each permanent secretary who headed each ministry, and oil and gas was not mentioned in a single.
They have enough documentation. How do you mean? There's years of that. Don't forget the government that came into office, NDC, before this one, and would have followed up on a number of activities. So it's a very strange, I'm saying it's a blatant lie.
In light of the recent findings, the NDC government plans to redirect its focus and resources towards other sectors that show potential for growth, such as tourism, agriculture, and renewable energy. Report.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's not jump the gun too much. Now, this was the initial conversation from the Prime Minister, stating that from all sectors, from every prominent secretary, that there was absolutely no information. I did not say. I did not say. The Prime Minister elected in Grenada stated that from every ministry, no report came as it relates to oil and gas. Not one. So, what did he do thereafter is the next question. And in the throne speech, through the Governor General, this is what the government did. Listen.
As government seeks to find answers to the status of oil and gas, Governor General Dame Cecile Lagrenade announced the establishment of an investigative committee chaired by former Finance Minister Nazim Burke.
This situation is untenable and completely unacceptable, and my government is committed to doing all within its power to unearth the mystery of Grenada's oil and gas status. To this end, my government has established a technical working group chaired by a past Minister for Finance, Mr. Nazim Burke, and comprised of distinguished Grenadians, including Mr. Rodney George, Mr. Richard Duncan, Mr. Raymond Nurse, and the Office of the Attorney General, represented by the Solicitor General, to investigate and to do what it takes to demystify our oil and gas situation.
So, ladies and gentlemen, again, not me to say, it was the words of the Governor General. And so a team of persons were put together to do what? To investigate, demystify, find out. That's all she said. For the persons in the back of the class. All she simply said is that a team of persons were put together to find out the truth about the oil and gas situation here in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. From to date, or the date from whence this statement was made, to date, this board has not given a single report that has been made public to Grenada. So as we stand now, we are unaware whether or not what the Prime Minister did through the Governor General by stating that a team of persons will be put together to demystify, to find out if Kid Mitchell and his team were lying. To find out whether or not when Dr. Mitchell said that there is a lot of documentations to show that work was being done in terms of oil and gas. That is what the team of persons were put together to do. No, to date, we have not heard from that board at all. There have not been a public statement. There have not been a press conference. Immediately thereafter, the visit from Africa, the Prime Minister's first public forum was a press conference. That press conference, I could vividly recall. I was telling them I doesn't listen to them, but I was being the back listening. It was the question asked by the journalist just before the dear sister would have asked him about his travels. Yeah. The young journalist would have asked, I think, 2 or 3 questions. It was concerning the conditions of the road in Woodlands. The other was in Granatang. Then she asked about the oil and gas situation. Yeah. The Prime Minister answered the question again, stating that he awaits finding from the board that was put together. So at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, what we were expecting as a nation is to come back and say to the Grenadian people after the throne speech that whether or not the persons that you put together did find whether or not they found documentation that stated that work was being done or work has been done, whether or not the monies that they stated that was allocated, because remember, I can remember playing a clip for you guys where the then Minister of Energy, Brother Bowen, would have spoken as it relates to asking for finances through the House to have a spending for the discovery or the findings. I remember playing that. So even when the question was posed, because remember the Prime Minister never brought it up in the press conference. Even when the question was posed, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister spoke about the board and their findings. Days after that, Grenadians are being awoken to the fact that the present government would have signed documentation with a multi-millionaire company in Africa concerning oil and gas. So we have not had a finding or a report from the board that was put together, spearheaded by the past Minister of Finance, Brother Nazim Bok. So if somebody could direct me, just like how he's asking Dr. Mitchell to direct him to the documentation, if somebody could direct me to the findings of that board, then I'm pleased. But we have not had any report whatsoever that I am aware of that has been made public by this administration as to coming back and say, well, after doing thorough research, the past administration spent $50 to buy a needle and thread, $60 to buy a piece of cloth. We have not had that, none of this report. To add insult to injury, we have not had up until last night, because when the Prime Minister came back, we heard nothing, even during his press conference, about signing an agreement. A publishing that came out from Africa is when the news break as it relates to the oil and gas conversation. So up to date, the Prime Minister in his travels, which at the end of the day did not have anything based on what the state understood. Based on what the state understood was never in the capacity of the results that we're hearing now. So let me read a piece of documentation for you. It says, Grenada Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell has announced that a cricket academy he started in his own constituency will be beneficial or benefit from a gift he accepted from the richest man in Africa, whom he visited in the early October on a private trip. On the 7th of October, a press release on the Prime Minister's Facebook page announced that the travels was to Rwanda for the Basharia Forum scheduled to take place from the 9th to the 11th of October. Now, the Basharia Forum, also known as Basha Africa, is an annual business event organized by African Continental Free Trade Area, aimed to promoting intra-Africa trade and fostering economic integration across the continent. So the forum in itself is to deal with Africa. The 2024 edition held in Rwanda took place on October 9 to the 11th, 2024. The forum, which means business in Shawali, serves as a platform for African public or private sector leaders, policymakers, and business representatives to engage in high-level discussions about economic development. It serves as a platform for African public and private sector leaders. It is not clear where Grenada fits into this picture. Grenada export nutmeg, mace, cinnamon, clove, ginger, and cocoa. However, on October 10th, the press secretary, Nila Etienne, confirmed that Prime Minister has actually traveled to Nigeria. The two countries are about 1,500 miles apart by air. Several news items from the various media houses in Nigeria later showed videos carried by news of the Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell visiting the refinery and other company sites owned by that businessman, that rich man in Africa. It is a news conference on October 16th. On October 16th, the Prime Minister said that he traveled to Nigeria from the United Kingdom with the compliments of the rich man, known to have 2 private jets. Prime Minister Mitchell said that in discussions with the rich man, he told him about the academy which provides cricket lessons to primary school students in his constituency. At the point, the rich man decided to gift him 1,000 cricket kits to the cricket academy. In speaking to the Mr. Richman and explaining what we're doing, he agreed, and that is the words of the Prime Minister then. And then they called the owner of the Indian Premier League team, who incidentally owns a team in the CPL, and owes the CPL and a team in Bangladesh League, and said, I want 1,000 cricket kits for kids. They are being manufactured. They will be delivered to Grenada. The Grenadian Prime Minister said, without disclosing where the kits are being manufactured and when the gift will arrive in Grenada. By accepting the gift on his private trip, the Prime Minister, as a public life official, according to the Public Life Act, is obligated to declare the gift to the gift treasury of the Office of the Integrity Commission for the relevant officers to determine if the gift should be declared as a property of the state or declared as a personal gift. According to the Integrity Commission, the gift registry sets out the commissions responsible in observing the upholding national legal and policy position on bribery and corruption. That is why the commission was started. The acceptance of gifts and gratuity creates a conflict of interest between an employee's private interest and their public duty. The circular on the website explains that the gift registry policy is part of the risk management regime with respect to changes and practices or procedures which may be necessary to reduce occurrence of corruption. Basically, that is an explanation as to why they have a gift registry. Now, the Prime Minister is stating this is what he got. Rightfully, he's supposed to state and bring forward to the registry, well, the gifts are coming to Grenada on the 15th of November, the 12th, the 10th. That was not said. It was not said when he was manufacturing. PM Mitchell, who was the guest on the morning program, well, that is what I just explained to you guys, on the Grenada Broadcasting Network, used the occasion to justify why, as the head of government, he must often travel. He said, with all due respect to the Ministry of Tourism, I am the biggest seller of Grenada. When I go to Nigeria, I'm representing Grenada. Nigerians who never heard of Grenada would have heard about me as the Prime Minister. They would have recognized that I would have met with the most influential person, not just a Nigerian, but in Africa, in the Black Wall. And the attention has been brought to Grenada is what you will see following thereafter, he said. So, ladies and gentlemen, in the wake of all this, it astonishes me most that at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, we have not had a finding whether or not the investigative team would have brought to light what the past administration were doing, what they would have done as it relates to the oil and gas research. We have not had a finding. We don't know nothing. We don't know if the past administration spent all the money and buy egg. But we have not had a finding. And at this stage, we are hearing as a nation that all the time when Dr. Mitchell spoke about oil and gas, spoke about the research, spoke of the promises that it is going to be researched, it is going to be done, it was a lie. It was a lie. But now, an agreement is being signed on a lie. Understand this. Yes, they would come with it now to say when it's beneficial to Grenada and it's good for Grenada. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, when the past political leader and prime minister of this country spoke on the conversation of oil and gas, it was a lie. But in 2024, a documentation signed after the Prime Minister through the Governor General, and I believe the Governor General should now ask of the Prime Minister to present the findings, because you humiliated the office of the Governor General by having a Megatron speech. And now, after speaking of demystifying the oil and gas conversation, it seems, to what I'm assessing, is that the truth was found. And instead of being man enough to come and speak the truth, instead, you use that for your own political affiliation to bring your recognition. So you found out that what Dr. Mitchell was saying, what the past Minister of Energy was saying, Brother Gregory Boeing, all the finances that they stated that was geared to the oil and gas research. What I'm gathering from this, ladies and gentlemen, it was the truth. Because if it was a lie, knowing the modus operandi of this present administration, we would have known. We would have known. But they have nothing. But they weren't man enough. They wasn't bold enough. They weren't big enough to come back to the Grenadian people and say, you know, the fact of the matter is, this was the truth. You took office. You stated from every permanent secretary. Nothing stated on oil and gas. Nothing. But in just a mere year thereafter, your administration did no research on oil and gas. But you now have a multi-million agreement concerning oil and gas. The oil and gas conversation started since in 2008 with the past administration, with the now leader or head of the board, who himself should be ashamed of himself, because he should have said to the Prime Minister, there were documentation, or there are documentations there. But you see, when you turn papi out, they go take you and make papi show. When you bring yourself down to the mud, they go take you and make potty. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, as I started by saying, those programs like this, and many others, is what is continuing to help the people of Grenada. Because you need to understand what is happening to you. Because some people don't even understand what the role of statutory body. Some people born into Nawasa and the Grenlec and the Postal Corporation and the Gravel and Concrete. Some people have born into this. So they never get a chance to. And in a very modern time, we're speaking statutorization. And in anything you do, educating your people is important. Educating your people, ladies and gentlemen, is of importance. There are people that don't understand statutorization. These persons that are present in office, all they think about is being malicious. You believe if they had found something on Dr. Mitchell or the past administration, we would not have known? Man, bell would have ring from bow to stand. Bell would have ring from bow to stand. At this stage, I think Sister Emmeline Pay, Honorable Emmeline Pay, investigation is a murder. The Faith investigation. The policeman, the cabinet conclusion. Let's not forget those things, ladies and gentlemen. Whenever they go to come at us maliciously, it falls back on them. Old people say, when you dig in a pit, and there's a reason for digging too. Others would say, when you dig in a pit, don't dig close to the edge. You yourself might fall in it. There is much more to what we're hearing, ladies and gentlemen. And in the coming days, you're going to see more. And let me say to you, from a very, I don't know if he's online. Oh, look, he just commented. I remember the 2008 NDC. One of the greatest assurance I had came from my father. He's not too politically open. He's not that person. Yeah? He said to me, leave NDC. They're going to self-destruct. And let me say to you, this advice I would give to each and every one of you now. Leave NDC. Watch NDC self-destruct. Remember I played a clip a few days ago as it relates to what Kalisha Faria said a few years back or so. That is the truth. These people can't change their color. They spoke about infight within the new National Party. One member gone. Across the floor. How many persons thereafter publicly have come out and say, I am done supporting NDC? After the general election, persons we know who were punching the air for the National Democratic Congress. How many of them are now speaking against the National Democratic Congress? Is it thing NNP did? Their very own are pointing out to the general public that there are persons within the party and government that are doing nothing lackadaisical. The regular top show host is asking for the removal of members of the board on the National Democratic Congress. Leave NDC. They go self-destruct. Leave NDC. They go self-destruct. There is more that is going to be revealed. There is more. And we are going to continue to unfold them, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I've gone way past the time. Yeah, gone way past the time. But rest assured that it is well with the new National Party. The progress continues, the process continues. Stick and stay, ladies and gentlemen. Let these guys continue to make mistakes. These people are making mistakes up until the election day. You won't say I tell you that. Tomorrow I'll bring to you, ladies and gentlemen, a breakdown as it relates to a lot of the constituencies. Close calls constituencies that we need to start focusing on. Tomorrow you won't see much of me. Maybe the screen you would see a lot more as it relates to. Because we really want you guys to get a sense as it relates to how many of these constituencies that were close calls. That was persons who sat home and did not come out and vote. St. John's especially. That one hurt us. And we're not going to allow this to happen again. Understand the motive here. We are 2 seats away. And I'm saying 2. Because number 10 left and then she didn't left with supporters. We are 2 seats away from governance of this state again. Let us put in the work to take back what is rightfully yours. Let us walk to what is rightfully yours, and that is governance of the state. The new National Party remains the only political organization that can run this state. And it has been proven time and time again. Because every time we give them a blight, dies it. Constituency leads, persons within different constituencies. Mobilization is a focus in going forward. Getting to know the people that you need to speak to, getting to know the people you need to contact, getting to know the people whom your neighbor, who you know, you realize they switch. Now, man, we need 2. 2 we need. We have 6. 6 we have, you know. 6 we have. They can't take that from us. 6 we have. We won 6 seats in Grenada, the new National Party. We have 6 constituencies in Grenada. 6. Can't take that away from us. So we're missing 2. Because I tell you, number 10 area is ours. like NNP territory. The individual left. The supporters didn't. Yeah? That's what we need to understand. Let's get it done. Let us get it done. Seeing persons with comments, we're really into the time. I'm going to contact you guys. We may have conversation and a lot of other things. As I said to you guys, fear not to give me a call. We have to change my number. That's not the number that I'm using. Yeah? Yeah, Patrick Roberts, no problem. Yeah, 2 we missing, man. We are 6. Yeah? 6 we have. Like the fact. 6 we have. I want to say good afternoon to my brother out there in Tobago. Yeah? 18. Good to see your brother. Tell mommy and them I say good evening. Happy belated birthday to the whole of the Pascal family down in Tobago. I want to say hi to you guys. I should have been there this year. But oh boy. Yeah? But I love you guys same way. I love you, my brother. Safe. I want everybody to have themselves a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Catch you back here again tomorrow, same time, same place. Yeah? I think that the voice is good again. And really, you guys would want to hear it. So I don't want to miss another day. So we'll save more for tomorrow. Yeah? You guys are going to get more of me tomorrow. We're going to do a lot of more explanation tomorrow. We really want the focus to start shifting to getting persons to be registered and vote. Yeah? Main focus. As I said to you guys a while ago, 2. We're 2 away. Not 5, not 3. Forget about these 5. We don't have 5. We have 6. We won 6 legitimately. Yeah? And then somebody sell it. Yeah? So thank you guys. Some persons are telling me get home safely. Thank you so very much. And in this day and age, I just really want to get out here because the climate, the conditions out there. Yeah? So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of the Class in Session program. Have yourself a wonderful, wonderful evening. God's blessings to each and every one of you. I want to say a special good evening to my father and stepmother out there in Victoria and St. Mark's. God's blessings to each and every one of you. I love you guys the same way. Somebody saying, teacher, it was so nice seeing you in person on Sunday. Sandra Lewis, it was a pleasure. It definitely was a pleasure. And persons are saying to me, you know, somebody met me and they said, listen to me, you have students in your class and you're passing them straight. Remember, we're behind a computer. I don't know some of you guys. So unless you don't come to me, yeah, I wouldn't know you guys. But the same way, I appreciate each and every one of you guys who come to me sometime and say, listen, I listen to the program. Some persons come secretly and say, I listen to the program. So I'm really, really, you know, happy for it. I'm happy that, you know, I am being able to speak to persons, even who's older than me. The mere fact that you will take the chance to listen to me. I know many of you guys are well educated. Yeah, some of you guys are, you know, persons that have what you have. And the mere fact that you're listening to me and encouraging me, some persons shoot me a message and, you know, say things. And, you know, even the little bingo the other day, I was really pleased for the many of you guys who reach out to me and like, take Waggy job. I can take Waggy job. Yeah, but you guys really did encourage. Yeah, and I want for every one of the program. I sometimes listen to Mr. Pay. You know, sometimes I just browse through and I listen to Mr. Pay. And, you know, the knowledge that we keep, you know, giving to you guys. Ain't nobody here running on arrogance. Yeah? Yeah, we're not running on arrogance. There are persons here who are educated. The things that I do, I say, is it I read it out, and I could tell you where I read it from, or I play a clip. I ain't here running on fumes. Yeah, I'm not here running on fumes and hatred and vexation. There are persons who want to know. There are persons who don't know and have to know. And this is our job. All right? So thank you so very much for being a part of this evening's program. I'm way over the time. Yeah, I'm an hour and 21 minutes going. So have yourself a wonderful evening. God's blessings to each and every one of you. Continue to support the programs. Continue to be a member and members of the new National Party as we continue to focus on our rescue mission in the upcoming general election and in the upcoming days and weeks ahead. All right? Thank you so very much. Have yourself a wonderful evening.
We going strong and getting stronger. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. We love it. The future looking real bright. and visionary leadership. Now carrying hope for a brighter future. The new national party. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. We love it. The future looking real bright, and we moving on just right. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. We love it. There's no segregation. We're the best party, and we know it. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP. Anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP. 40 years and going strong. Providing a solid foundation for the nation's future. 40 years of greatness, development and progress. Yeah, it's a celebration. It's a celebration. We love it. The future looking real bright, and we moving on just right. It's a celebration. It's a celebration. We love it. There's no segregation. We're the best party, and we know it. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP. Anniversary. Happy anniversary, NNP. Going strong and getting stronger. NNP.
Happy anniversary, NNP. Happy anniversary, NNP. Happy anniversary, NNP.